Hello, namaste. Happy to see you again. Today I'm going to talk about constipation because many of my patients ask me for explanation about it and the solution to avoid this regular inconvenience that is encountered more in women than men and more also in autumn and winter. So I will explain to you why you have to be worried about that and why you have to treat it as soon as you can, and which Ayurvedic solution you can integrate into your daily lifestyle to treat and, of course, prevent it. So I'm not going to review what we call Jataragni, the digestive fire again, because I did it earlier and recently. But today I'm going to deal a little with the intestinal transit disorder of constipation. It is in fact the main disorder of the digestive system. And in summary, for Ayurveda, if our elimination is correct, we are and remain healthy. So the proper functioning of the colon, which contributes in a major part to an adequate elimination, either the elimination of waste from our food, but also all the other waste produced by the body to maintain its balance, is distinguished by a tongue without persistent deposit, which does not return easy and which does not return back easy on the tongue after crushing it, and through the irregular transit. The poop should be molded and also floated. So conventional medicine defines constipation as infrequent evacuation, less than 3 times per week. But Ayurveda states that we should have bowel movement 1-2 times and even 3 times a day. So the main cause of constipation is our diet, especially the consumption of food that are heavy to digest, although it can also be triggered by fever or infectious diseases. And other second factors which are conducive to constipation is the way of life, like late awakening, hasty departure in the morning to work before which we forget to have a bowel movement, morning sexual activity, lack of exercise, and of course our famous mind, because psychological factors also produce constipation. If we are stressed, if we have insomnia and fears in particular. So some medication like diuretics have side effects and cause constipation also. So in case of temporary constipation, spices will be a great help, like ginger, for example, because they normalize the functioning of the digestive fire. Laxatives that tone the colon, such as triphala or psyllium, are also recommended. So, for more serious and long constipation, castor oil that can be recommended, but we have to be very careful with castor oil because it can be really flushing for the organism. So we have to be careful with that use. We can also use ginger in infusion to normalize our digestion at different levels. So, in case of acute or severe constipation with very heavy tongue, fever, and severe bloating, more powerful purgatives such as senna or rhubarb root are also used. There is then the when you have constipation, that means that you have what we call in Ayurveda hama. So this is toxin in the digestive system, and we must accompany, link these plants with a fast or light diet for a few days to let our system eliminate the accumulated wastes, which is of course toxic over time if we keep inside. So it's important to eliminate this waste because it's polluting our system inside. So we have to take action. So be careful also in case of pain in the lower right part of the abdomen. There, it can be also appendicitis, and those plants which are purgative can be also dangerous if it's a case of appendicitis. In the event of chronic constipation, we will ensure that the food contains enough non-digestible vegetable fibers, because they will scratch and sweep our intestinal mucosa walls, and therefore these plants will clean this intestinal mucosa wall. So it's also good to use that. And a part of that, we will use also really nice fats that we can find in olive oil, in ghee, etc. So if the digestive fire is powerful, raw fruit and vegetables can be useful, but be aware of that also. It's always the same. It's all depend about your constitution, the context, and your experience with constipation. Grape, plum juices are recommended also. Apples, cranberry should be avoided in this case. So like I said just before, consumption of sesame oil is very good for treating constipation. Like ghee, which have a therapeutic effect on our microbiota and promote the proper elimination of our waste. Sorry. So generally speaking, it is best to get up at dawn. Colon time it's Vata time. So I can recommend to take a large glass of water, which will have been charged with the copper for at least 6 hours in your copper bottle. Then later you can have a little glass of hot water or herbal tea upon awakening peristalsis system, which is the movement inside the intestines to get the waste out, which can also be good to help the elimination. You can also do a little massage on the belly in the clock way to your lower abdomen. And the sitting position on the toilet is also very important. It is advisable to have your knee raised and to have a bowel to get this bowel movement, as by squatting, for example, on the toilet bowl, for example, or like to get an image when you use a Turkish toilet, which is in fact the ideal position to eliminate stools. Then, if the evacuation has not yet occurred, what can have oatmeal, hydrated in hot milk, and ghee for breakfast. And this constitutes a light laxative, so fiber plus fats. And note also that cold foods such as cold milk and cold cereal block the evacuation. Do not consume any food or any drinks cold because it is worsening Vata dosha, and therefore the internal and external dryness of the body will be aggravated. Ayurveda recognizes different type of constipation depending on your dosha constitution, and how also which dosha are involved in this constipation. This results in different state of tonicity of the colon. Your colon can be soft, intermediate, or hard. And people who have a soft colon tend to have lose stool. In case of constipation, you can get isagbol, called also psyllium, or hot milk, and it's usually sufficient to treat the constipation. So this condition is due to an elevated pitta, which dries up the stool due to its heat, because pitta is fire, so it's creating too much heat inside. But in this case, the constipation is rarely chronic. And another type is the intermediate type colon, which is a kapha characteristic. So we used to get more stronger laxatives, which are needed in this case. For example, we may need to associate Triphala and Trikatu herbs, especially if ama is really present. And this condition is due to high kapha, which produce congestion of mucus, which clogged the colon. Hard colon characterizes vata, and constipation is become in this case often chronic, and this is more difficult to correct it, but not impossible. So stronger laxatives such as castor oil or sene herbs are needed at the start of the treatment, and over a short period followed by milder toning laxatives like Triphala over the long term, and a strictly anti-vata diet, lightest at first, should also be followed to treat this condition. Chronic constipation must be treated because it means that you store wastes inside from your food and your cells production. So it can lead to a variety of ailments, from the mildest to the most serious, and over the time. So it is necessary to correct these states when you feel it, when you know that it will happen, because when the measures are not taken sufficiently, your condition will get worse. And this is also the first stage of the creation of a disease. So we have to treat that at the first symptom when you feel them. So correct elimination leads to a healthy body because you regenerate properly, your cells are regenerating properly, your organs operate favorably, which supports all the function of your metabolism. So it helps to decrease the weight. It helps to get a good level of cholesterol, a good many things to be balanced. And also in constipation, the mind is also affected by this, because when we are constipated, and if it's your case, you know that we feel that the lower abdomen is heavy, swells, and it's also occupy our mind all the day when we don't feel good in the belly. So if we want to be mindly free, we have also to get belly free. So the one doesn't go without the other, and it's also for this, and study have proven it, that our intestines called the second brain, a whole bunch of neurons connected are connected between the belly, our intestines, and our brain. So it is important also to be aware of that. When you have a good digestive system, you have a good mind, and you have clarity, you have a healthy body, good metabolism, etc., etc. So I want also to remind you that you have to take all precaution. Even if I give you some herbs, you don't have to auto-medicate. Like, for example, I mentioned castor oil or senna, but you have to take them with the therapist or your doctor agreement. Because these herbs are really powerful, and their action are not can be really trivial for our body. So you must see your treatment with the therapist or the doctor to not get injured more with the use of those herbs. So do not self-medicate with these two herbs, castor oil and senna. In short, there is still so much to say, but I need to conclude. Just I want to remind you, listen your body. Do with yourself good practice that enhance your health, and it will be really effective and enough. But if you don't take action, of course, disease can start to be created. That's why it's also very important to listen our body, what is telling, what are the first symptoms, and take action naturally. More you will take action rapidly, more you can treat rapidly with natural remedies. Okay, so this is really important. It's also a kind of self-love when you listen your body, when you listen your mind, when you listen your heart, not so much the mind but more the heart, and you will have a healthy life. So I just want to remind that, because this is the most important things in our life. This is the health. If we don't prevent and we just don't care about us, what we're gonna do after in the life? If we are sick, we cannot do what we like. If we are disabled, we cannot do what we like. So life, it's not like that. Life, it's the priority of your life. It's your body, it is your mind, and it is also your soul. And after other things of life, like working, passion, leisures, it's a second part. But first priority, it's you. Don't forget that. This is really important to live with more joy as possible, and with peace of mind also. So these tips are very useful, and you can use them right now without side effects, but not for castor oil and senna. I repeat, I want you to get a therapist or an appointment with a therapist or an Ayurvedic doctor to plan your use of those plants. So see you for another video. I wish you a very nice day. Enjoy the most as possible your life. Don't get too busy in your mind. Don't struggle in your mind, and everything will be okay in your body. Don't forget, prevention is better than cure. Take care of yourself and be happy. Namaste. Hari Om.